Malcolm Knox, it's a great pleasure to have you here at Booktopia.
Thank you.
Congratulations on The Wonder Lover. It's a stunning, stunning book.
Thank you.
Have you ever actually met a bigamist? Because the central thrust of the book is a man who has 3 wives simultaneously, and then something extra happens. But where did you get this idea?
It didn't come from meeting bigamists. I have talked to people about it as I've been going through, and I realise I have known bigamists because these stories have been revealed to me. That's not where it came from initially. Where it came from, I honestly don't know. But looking back, I do have a particular interests in imposters and people leading more than one life.
Yes, you've met a few of those.
Yeah.
And exposed a few, Norma Curry, for example.
Norma Curry, and a lot of the thing about the whole pursuit of Norma Curry was, I would say to her, never bullshit a bullshitter, just because I had a strong feeling for imposture myself and could completely understand what she was doing. Anyway, where did it come from? I reckon that the formative experiences of your youth are called formative because of how long they stay with you, and I just think because of the world in which I grew up, the moments at which I realise adults lead second lives, adults are not what they seem, adults lie, adults play roles that you've believed in. That loss of innocence when your eyes are open to what you think is the real adult world, which is the world of lies and secrets, hit me very strongly, and it's probably taken me the next 30 years to understand that better. And so this book, I think, comes out of that very deep past for me, and why it's focused on a person with multiple families. Also has something to do with the novelist's life, the life of the boring middle class person married with 2 children, such as I am. You're, as a novelist, you're greedy for more lives than one. You're not satisfied with the fact that this is all you've got, and you're living it through your imagination. So it's not that much of a leap, I don't think, to move into the world where you've concretised that.
I think it's quite a big leap, but we might just park that idea because there's so many other things to talk about, although that's a very provocative statement. But I mean, where this does fit in with your earlier work, even though it is completely different from your previous novels, is that you are constantly mining and exploring aspects of masculinity, of what it means to be a man. What is it that intrigued you about masculinity in this particular story?
I think this book is the son of A Private Man, my second novel, which was also a late middle-aged family man. His secrets were different. The obvious thing to say is that kind of masculine biological drive of wanting to propagate more widely than monogamy will allow. I'm actually more interested by the moral compass of this character, because there is no doubt in his mind that he's doing the right thing. And in each of he doesn't want to fall in love each time he falls in love. And when it happens, he is not fallen out of love with his existing wife.
And he doesn't seem to experience guilt.
He doesn't experience guilt because for him, and he's sort of slightly autism spectrum disorder person. He can rationalise what he's doing due to what she doesn't know
Won't
hurt her. So if he has in his mind that he still loves his first wife, he doesn't want to make her unhappy. He doesn't want to leave her. But this other thing has happened to him where he, at least in the initial stages, always feels like a bit of a passenger transported by love, which is an overpowering feeling for him. The part of his character that interests me is how he justifies that to himself, how he compartmentalises, how it seems right to him and good. And then what flows from that is all the difficulties, which are not difficulties of conscience, they're difficulties of logistics. And when you hear about, in real life, every now and then you'll see a story or you'll hear something about a man who's been revealed to have two families on the go. Some people's reaction to that will be, oh, what a monster, it's a judgmental reaction. My reaction when I hear those stories is, well, how did he do it? How did he actually put the pieces together?
But you ramp up the degree of difficulty by giving him a third wife and a third set of children. And
yes.
I mean, to paraphrase Oscar Wilde and Lady Bracknell, you think, well, 1, unfortunate, 2, careless, but 3, what are we doing with 3 wives?
Yeah, well, that I think that's part of my transference of the story from the real to the fabulous, and it's not a realistic story.
Not at all.
It is a fantasy in a twisted kind of way, and it would be at a fundamental level a male fantasy, maybe not to have so many hassles with bank accounts and different dentists.
Cars.
Different
cars turn out to be very important.
Yeah.
Give us a flavour of who John Wonder is professionally, because you've given him this fantastic career as a fact authenticator for various books of records. So we start with the Guinness Book of Records and then we move to the internet. But how did you come up with what his profession would be, and how much did you use real facts?
Well, the origin of that is I conceived the character. For the character to have those things going on in his personal life, he has to be, on one level at least, very coolly logical. And look, I'm one of those trivia nuts, and kind of come from a family of trivia nuts, and as well as nuts in other ways. But I just liked it. There was no other reason for it than it seemed right that a person who could compartmentalise his personal life and not feel any guilt over it is also somebody who treasures veracity and the concrete exactitude. Yeah, and it was during the period before I wrote the book that on a job I was doing, I met Guinness World Records authenticator guy in Australia who does that for his job, and he took me to a couple of events where people were performing, trying to break a world record and get into the book, and I really enjoyed the people. So I think it was a mixture of things coming together at that time. It just felt right.
Now, just give us a little flavour, if you would, of the 3 women who are the wives and how you characterised them differently.
Well, wife number 1 is a doctor, medical doctor. She's his first love. They are a perfect match in many ways.
This is Sandy.
This is Sandy. They have a potent sexual attraction. And I enjoyed doing this because they're not outwardly attractive people, but they're kind of sex mad for each other, and they meet when they're very young, and she has a strong professional life, and we've talked about his professional life. His wife number 2, Paulina, is in another country. She's in a Latin American country.
I love her, Paulina.
She's a journalist.
She's a firecracker.
She meets him professionally because she is brought to his authenticators world, an urban myth that he has to go and verify. She's one of those women who takes charge, and he is ripe for the picking for that kind of woman, where things happen, and he can even say to himself, I didn't have any part in that. I might have done it, but she took me by the scruff of the neck, and the point of sort of connection between them, I suppose, is factuality. And she is as in love with nailing down the facts as he is, except her facts are about poverty and slavery and the treatment of humans, whereas his are the least human of facts. So she, in a way, is a conscience for him. She represents the failing of his life, which is not to feel for people. And then the third wife, Kim, who comes in fairly late into the story, is another side of the conscience left unaddressed, which is women, which is the way women are treated by men. And she's a victim of sexual crime repeatedly, and they're humans, they're archetypes, they represent, as it is a fairy tale, they have to have a kind of a clear meaning in his life, and Kim's meaning is, he's on the conquest for parts of himself through his life, as we all are. The final conquest here, when he meets Kim, is guilt over what he's done.
Pretty late in the piece.
It's pretty late in the piece, yeah. But he thinks of her as his redeemer. He thinks of her as somebody.
If he can make things right for her, then that sort of spills over into making him a better person in relation to the first two, in a way, doesn't it? So then, Malcolm, into all of this comes his object of desire, whom you give this extraordinary name to, Cicada. God knows why you call her Cicada, but anyway, what does she embody? What does she represent for you symbolically in this story?
Well, she is that ultimate. In the fairy tale, she is the dragon. Actually, that's not very nice. I suppose she does have dragon-like qualities as a young woman, but she is the creature that the knight errant has to find, has to somehow attain, and in a way she's all that's left in there through his failings. So he's failed to be true to his first love. He's found an element of truth with his second love, and reconciled his working life with the life of his heart. He's made his apology, he's made his atonement to women through his third love. But of course, the human heart doesn't have three parts. It doesn't, it's not Donkey Kong where you just go to a certain number of levels and then you've won. It's infinite, and I suppose the ungraspable in Cicada is a way of representing the futility of what he's doing, and he'll never get there. He'll never. If he can live for 1,000 years, he'll have 100 marriages, 500 marriages. But I suppose you know, she's like a character from a dream in every way, but the running on the spot and never getting there, that's what she is. She's, you know, she's always tantalisingly...
Intangibly elusive,
yeah,
shape-shifting.
Yeah, and also with all that, he's telling himself that he's not chasing her, which is part of the chase, to try to kid himself into finding that ultimate.
Malcolm Knox, it's an absolutely bewitching male fantasy fairy tale. It's an extraordinary, extraordinary story. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gail.